Webheads, today is Tuesday and tomorrow is New Comic Book Day, but you know what makes next week exciting? Putting together that pull list for next week. Hey, all my webheads out there, welcome back to Comic Book Corner 2.0, and fans, I am your host, Mike Spider Slayer, getting ready to bring you the top 10 most anticipated comic books. Fans, this is for September 23rd, 2020. That's right, guys, it's never too early to start that pull list for next week, and hopefully these comics help you make decisions on which ones to buy. So, guys, welcome back, and if you want to show that extra love and support towards the channel, fans, don't forget to hit that join button right there on my home screen. You will become a member of Comic Book Corner 2.0, and I appreciate all of you guys that support this channel, whether you comment, watch, or whatever the case may be. So, guys, let's jump into this week's countdown, shall we? With kicking it off with the hot seat. And this week's hot seat book goes to a new number one that's coming out. And this one is Juggernaut issue 1. Now, this is a main series that it's coming out, and it's called Picking Up the Pieces. Now, are we ready for a Juggernaut solo book? I don't know, but you know what? One of the big bads that I liked when I was a kid was actually Juggernaut, because I thought he was just this overwhelming, hulking mutant that I was like, man, he's a badass character. And another reason why I liked him is he showed up in SpiderMan and his Amazing Friends back in the day, and then actually, Todd McFarlane drew a cover of Marvel Tales Spider-Man with Juggernaut on it and him facing Spider-Man. So I kind of have this thing for Juggernaut, and I'm kind of curious to see what his own story is going to be about. So I'm going to give this one a try. However, if it doesn't capture my attention in any shape or form, I'm actually will go and drop this book. But we'll see what happens. Cool covers here. So yeah, if you're interested, pick it up. It's going to be 28 pages, $4, so standard price for a comic. Next, coming in at number 10, and this was a book that I was thinking about not getting either, but this one goes to Spider-Man issue 4. Dude, when was the last time this series was released? I couldn't even begin to tell you, but we get the return of this series with J.J. Abrams and his son that are writing this story of Spider-Man, and I think his son that goes out and he's trying to decide if he wants to be a hero, and he's fighting this other, like, weird creature. I don't even remember, man. It's been so long since I read this book. So I know it's about Ben Parker and whatnot. And I don't know. I thought it was okay when I was reading it. I just thought the artwork was a little bit off and the villain was weird. But I'm going to check it out, and I guess if I bought the first 3, why not buy the next one? So we'll see what happens with it. Guys, this one is also 32 pages, and it's a $4 book. All right, next, moving on to number 9. This goes to the Transformers, the Terminator. This is issue 4. This is the book where the Decepticons have invaded Earth, and obviously they're trying to destroy the Autobots, but the Terminator has made its way as well, as the Decepticons or Transformers in general are really the main bad guys towards the Terminators, but he's teamed up with the Autobots to take down the Decepticons because he realized that the Decepticons are the real bad guys. They're trying to collect Energon, and it makes for a fun, nostalgic book. If it's a book that you're not looking to take too seriously, I think you can have a lot of fun with this. I think the artwork is good. It's cool to see Sarah Connor actually team up with Bumblebee. It's cool to see all your favorite Decepticons in this book, like Starscream and Soundwave and Megatron and Optimus Prime. So it's cool to see all those guys. It looks like you're going to get the Dinobots in this next issue. So I think this is a lot of fun. So if you're willing to pick this up, it's 32 pages, $4. You can probably find the first other issues, the first 3 probably on the rack still. All right, next, moving on, guys, to number 8. This one goes to Star Wars Bounty Hunter issue 5, okay? This has been a pretty good series. This is the Battle of the Bounty Hunters. Only one man can stop Boba Fett from executing his long-sought vengeance, but can Valance survive the battle of the two greatest bounty hunters of their age? This has been a pretty cool book, right? I mean, it's cool to see these different types of bounty hunters, and of course, if you're a Star Wars fan, you gotta be a Boba Fett fan, and he's obviously in this book. If you don't like the story, and you're into collecting covers, the cover art on this book or on this series has been absolutely phenomenal. They're rich in detail. But again, if you love bounty hunters and you like that side of the Star Wars universe, I think you're enjoying the story. 28 pages. This is a $4 book. All right, next. Moving on, moving on to number 7. And I am pissed about this. I am super aggravated, okay? My number 7 is Batman Beyond issue 47. Now, this is an end of a story arc, right? And I felt like, you know what? I want to jump back on board of Batman Beyond. Everyone has been saying this is so good. Mike, why aren't you reading it? And the last time I read it was when Joker made his appearance in this book and Brett Booth did the artwork, and I really loved that storyline. And then for me, it dropped off a little bit and I didn't read it. And then I was like, I got to get back on Batman Beyond because it's good. And plus, all these other DC books were being canceled. So I was like, I got to buy more DC books. I got to find and fill that void, right? And then, I kid you not, after I put together this list, the next day, this book gets announced that it's canceled. I was like, come on, man. Like, what are we doing? Like, we're getting rid of everything. And I'm just so frustrated by it. And I know they say that they're getting rid of about 20 to 25% of their line, but how is Batman Beyond not a book that you want to keep around? Like, how is Batgirl not a book that you want to keep around? Like, these are Bat books, okay? This is not Batman, but they're still Bat books, and I feel like there's a huge audience for this. So I'm hoping that they'll wrap this up and maybe eventually re-release another one in the future. But, Jim Lee said it himself this past weekend, like they're not looking to reboot their universe. They just want quality stories. So I don't know if we're going to get a new team on there or whatever it is. I'll get off my soapbox now. I'm looking forward to this. I'm going to still read it and then read that last story arc and move on with my life. All right, so moving on to number 6. This goes to Maestro issue 2. This is part 2, Things Get Ugly. That's right. In the first issue of this, we wound up getting to see how Maestro came to be, I guess, or the beginnings of him, right? We get to see Bruce Banner, how he's with his family, and we find out that it's all kind of like this trick. He's been kept underground as this nuclear war happens. The world goes to war with each other, and there's very limited survivors, and the Hulk feels like he's been deprived of everything that was meant something to him without his will, right? He doesn't have his wife, he doesn't have anybody, he's just lost. And at this point in the series, he just doesn't know what to do with himself. He's beside himself now. So this is kind of like the beginning steps of him becoming the creature that he's going to be in the near future. So I thought it was a great introductory issue for this, I think, 5-part story. And we'll see where it goes. This one is 28 pages. This is $4. All right, next, we're talking about Hulk books. This one goes to the Immortal She-Hulk issue 1. This is the one-shot. This is an Empire epilogue. This is a $6 book. It's 36 pages. But this is kind of what we're going to see when it comes to She-Hulk here. Jennifer Walters, what's the next stages for her? What's the next status quo? We've seen her change a lot in previous years. She went from, regular Jen Walters, lawyer, to wind up getting killed in Civil War II, and then she winds up getting killed again in Empire, and she becomes a plant beast, and so there's a lot of things that she's become, and what I want her to become is the Jennifer Walters that she once was, right? When she was in Sensational She-Hulk. So that's what I want again. Well, whether that happens again or not, I'm not sure, but I am looking forward to this one shot. It's got some sensational covers there. See what I see? Sensational She-Hulk, sensational covers. You see what I did there? Yeah. Lame. So check that out if you're interested in it, guys. All right, next, moving on to number 4. We get the return of Daredevil. This is issue 22. We were kind of interrupted with the annual issue. So this is always a great series by Chip Zdarsky. I think it's been nothing but short of phenomenal. You know, Matt Murdock has turned himself in. There's just a lot of things going on with this. You know, obviously, Kingpin's going through his issues as well. So yeah, this is a great book. I can't wait for the momentum to start picking up again, because I feel like we've only gotten really like one issue since this whole COVID thing has happened. I read a lot of it during COVID, and I just want the momentum to pick back up again so we can really get excited and dive deep into the new story arc here. Moving on to number 3. This one goes to Spider-Woman issue 4, back where it all began. That's right, webheads. We get to see Jessica Drew go back to the place where she gets her powers in this issue, and we see that there's a lot of history involved with this series, right? She winds up developing a disease, and we wind up finding out that she has a brother that's related to her, and her brother has powers as well. And we find out that the girl in this series is her niece, and they're trying to give her a cure because she was dying of some kind of cancer and whatnot. So there's a lot of things that are happening in this story that I think it's worth reading, and I'm very curious to see what the long-term goal of this is. I know we're going to get interrupted with the story when it comes to King in Black, but I think we're going to get some answers before King in Black happens, because we still got this issue, we still have October's issue, and we still have November's issue before December's King in Black issue comes out. So I think this is good. I think the first issue was great, the second issue not so great, but the third issue picked up. So yeah, good stuff here. Check it out, guys. Coming in at number 2, and obviously when it comes to top tier books this week, there's not too many of them, because you know, tomorrow is New Comic Book Day. The 16th Comic Book Day has a lot of phenomenal books. So I think this particular week, the 23rd, is kind of a little bit of a lackluster, not too many major tier books coming out. But this is something that I think is a major tier book, and this is X of Swords Creation, issue 1. So obviously we've been teased about the X of Swords for a very long time, and this is a major X-Men event, and obviously this is, you know, coming off the heels of Empire, so we just got done with that event. We're jumping into this event, then we're going into King in Black, so there's a lot of events going on, but I think this event's going to be better than Empire, and personally I think the King in Black event is going to be better than that, but I think X of Swords can be really a lot of fun. What's with all these swords? I don't know, but we've been getting teased a few things here. This is the first issue. This is 68 pages, $7. So we'll see what happens with it. Hopefully it's just not a bore fest and it takes forever to develop, but you know, I loved X, Dawn of X, and Powers of 10. I love those two books, so hopefully it's kind of in that scale. That's what I'm hoping for there. All right, so moving on to number 1, and number 1 for me goes to Suicide Squad. This is issue 9. Guys, this is not a spoiler, okay? This has been announced for a very long time, and it even says it here in the description that in this issue, it's the shocking death of Deadshot. It's on the cover. His mask is off. It's all bloodied. It's been talked about for a long time. We just don't know how it happens. It even says here that we think it's because of Ted Kord why Deadshot dies. And obviously there's going to be a bounty on Ted Kord's head. I think Tom Taylor has done a phenomenal job with Suicide Squad, created a lot of characters in this series, and it's unfortunate that it is cut short. Now, Tom Taylor has said that, you know, I planned for a definitive ending on this, and then it was going to come back later on. Whether that's true or not, I don't know. But hopefully in the future, when Suicide Squad ends, that this series will come back with these characters, and you know, we get like a season 2 or something like that, kind of like Green Lantern. So really highly anticipating this book all the way up until its final issue. 32 pages, $4. Check it out, webheads. So there you guys have it. There are my top 10 most anticipated comic books of the week. Guys, what do you think about those King in Black tie-in issues that are getting ready to come out? If you guys haven't checked that out yet, I'm going to leave that video right here for you to check out. And if you like this video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel. Don't forget to hit that bell. And until next time, guys, I'll see you on that next comic book video. Take care, webheads. Bye.